made him shut up and look out his own window again. Fuentes wasn't happy and wasn't keeping that a secret. It started on the shuttle from the orbital station to Luna. That hadn't been a private shuttle like they'd taken from Earth to the orbital. There were no stewards making them a fresh-cooked meal to order. It had been 12 hours crammed into a pair of seats in the middle of 6 others, 3 on either side, while the shuttle made a slow, fuel-efficient trip from Earth orbit to Luna under quarter-G acceleration with 4 hours in 0G, when no one was allowed out of their seats, for safety reasons. And dinner was a tube of fruit-flavored nutrient paste, not the buffet of fresh, real food they'd had in their suite back at the Waldorf Orbital. Then they'd landed and hit customs. Or what Luna had for customs, which was mostly a credit check to make sure you could pay for your air and water during your stay and put down a deposit. You had the choice between accepting the average pulse and oxygen level or getting a physical to determine your true numbers, which might get you a discount, or not. Well, most had a choice, but Mason saw a few elderly or large people pulled out of the default sign and told they could get a physical or leave. Mason got it. Air and water were precious commodities. Scrubbing the air took resources and had a cost to it, recycling the water too. So everybody's usage was monitored and tracked. You paid for the carbon you exhaled, the water you used, and any extra you might take with you when you left. The customs scanner's admonition to get a receipt when leaving the toilet didn't sit well with Fuentes, though. The line moved quickly, at least for the defaults, so Fuentes couldn't complain about the wait too much. It did give her time to complain about Mason not helping with the luggage, though. "Come on," she'd said. "Will you at least pull the thing for a few minutes?" "They're not my shoes," he replied. "It's awkward. I want to stretch my back." "We're at 1/6 G. It hardly weighs anything." "It still has mass." "It's got wheels." "These boots have a high heel. I'm trying to figure out how to walk here." "Nobody told you to wear those." "They look good." Mason shut up at that because they really did look good, but they weren't very practical for walking in a 6th G. Every time Fuentes' nail-thin heel hit the floor, she rebounded. She looked like she was skittering around on pencils, and the mass of her shoe crate, along with her rolling bag of clothes and duffel strapped to its top, pushed her off balance. Even Mason was having trouble adjusting with just his duffel and wheeled bag. The duffel made him top-heavy, so if he wasn't careful to stay upright, every little bounce away from the floor had him starting to tilt in midair and fall to the side the duffel was on. The twisting to get his feet back under him was awkward. Then there was the line to get a car, or try to drag their luggage onto the Luna transport tubes, which Fuentes said no to, despite a car being more expensive. And now the car itself, which was a really flimsy cart with electric motors to drive the wheels, 2 of which were giving off high-pitched whines of different frequencies and driving Mason to cover his ears every time the car moved forward. "Hey-ya! I'm turning here!" the driver yelled. Their cart cut across 2 lanes, well, in front of 2 other carts, there not really being any lanes, to a smaller tube with less traffic. The driver got the speed up then, and Mason grabbed the railing in front of him as they rocketed along. A few more turns, some additional battles with traffic, and the cart pulled to a stop. The driver was out of his seat in an instant, heading toward the back of the cart where their luggage was. "Pay up!" he yelled. He paused at the rear compartment, probably waiting for Fuentes to transfer payment, then started tossing their luggage onto the pedestrian walkway that lined the street. "Hey!" Fuentes yelled as she clambered out of the cart, but her shoe crate was already floating through the air. It bounced off the curved wall of the building and tumbled to the walkway upside down. "I'm not tipping," Fuentes yelled. "Tips cluded, dirter," the driver yelled back. He hopped into his cart and sped off. "I miss the Waldorf," Fuentes muttered, running a hand over her eyes. If Mason hadn't known it was impossible, he'd have thought she was tearing up. While Fuentes made several gestures at the departing cart, Mason took in their surroundings. She was right. It wasn't the Waldorf, nor was it like the orbital station, where even the back corridors used by residents were neat and tidy. Apparently, trash was as much a problem on the moon as it was back in the lowlies on Earth, and passing vehicles stirred up paper and plastic bits that swirled around their legs in the low gravity. There were
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.